Welcome back, guys, to another video, and in today's video we will be covering a very important and difficult question. When is a good time to buy? Shall I buy now when the prices are very high, or shall I buy later when prices may cool down? Are prices ever going to cool down? Both of these, or all of these, are very important questions, but before I can answer these questions, I would like to go over a few factors with you on the board here that are impacting the current market and that they may impact the future housing market. So let's get to the board. So that in today's video we will be primarily covering three main factors that are impacting the market right now. Currently, we're going to talk about the economic recovery that's happening after we have come out of this pandemic. Then we will discuss forbearances and foreclosures, which a lot of investors and a lot of people that have been tied to the real estate market for a while are in fear that we might be going into this crash, that foreclosures may be happening. And then we'll talk about the supply chain, which is new construction, how many homes are being constructed, and compare that to demand. So the first topic, economic recovery. First, I want to say we're having an amazing year. From 2020 to 2021, we as Americans have bought more homes than any year from 2008 to 2019. That's freaking awesome. So pat yourselves on the back for that. We have shown a lot of resilience despite coming out of a pandemic. So great job there. And now we're experiencing an economic recovery, primarily in the industry of service industry. When I say service industry, restaurants, mom and pop shops, retail stores. A lot of those folks that were working paycheck to paycheck have started to see their employers calling them back. Some of them are getting new jobs. Not everyone is fortunate, but a lot of the economists are predicting that we are in an expansion and a recovery stage. Another industry that was hit really hard is the automobile industry. It wasn't hit as hard as the airline industry, but they saw production halts because of the chips not coming out there, and that's why you saw a lot of the new cars were very expensive during this time. Now, what the economists are predicting is that we may see some inflation. Right now, we're sitting at an average of about 2%, but they're saying there may be some transitory inflation caused by these industries that were hit hard for them to recuperate some of the losses they had. We're going to start to see premiums that they're charging higher prices for their services. Another sector, the rental market, may also be contributing to this inflation because a lot of these folks that were working in the service industry were mainly renters, and some of them were not able to make payments to the landlords, and they were in process of eviction. So as we see these evictions happening, and a lot of these landlords are probably going to be going into these houses, fixing them up and comparing to what's on the market right now as far as buying. So and they're going to try to bring their homes up to par with the current market. So you'll start to see rents go up. But all this is going to be transitory. Well, the great news is that we're back as a country. We're in this economic expansion phase right now and trying to bring back our economy to where it was. And also we have sort of achieved or almost achieved herd immunity. So that's great news for everyone that's living in this country. Number two, let's talk about forbearances and foreclosures. So a lot of people are predicting that there may be foreclosures on a mass level, kind of comparing it to the 2008 crash where a lot of those foreclosures happened. Here's what's different in today's time. Back then, we were in this credit boom, and also we were noticing malpractices happening on the broker level, lender level, secondary market, rating agencies. We're not going to get into that today, but that's what was really happening, and that's what was really driving the demand, and anybody that was signing a paper was buying a house. And then we just saw everything just crumble down. In today's time, what's really happening is we're gonna talk more deeper on the supply chain after, but this is a time when we have the largest population of 27 and 33-year-olds, holler my millennials, and there are salaried employees for the most part across the country. A lot of them are carrying a lot of liquid cash. They have great jobs. That's a big difference here. So that's really what's really caused this crazy demand to go up. But my point here is that the foreclosures that have happened right now, a lot of those people that are getting their jobs back, and not only that, a lot of the lenders are allowing these borrowers to restructure their deals. And in some cases, if you're not able to do that and you're not as fortunate, you can still enter a pre-foreclosure state and not have your credit impacted, because we're in a up and up, market that has market values at a really high level. So, and assuming you bought your house when the market was not so high, so there's equity there. So even if you're a possible scenario, you're going to foreclose, you're most likely going to do a pre-foreclosure situation and not have it impact your credit. And not only that, you're going to probably get some equity out of this house because you made some equity. So you're going to pay your lender off, pay the loan debt off, and hopefully have some cash in your wallet to go ahead and make the next move whenever you're ready. Whereas in the 08 boom, that wasn't happening. The market had completely crashed, and when people were foreclosing, the banks were not even able to recuperate their money for their loans. And other point here is we have a lot of investors that are sitting with cash on the sides, where if they've learned anything from the 08 market, that's been that if once this thing goes down, it's eventually going to come up. So those guys are really sitting on the sidelines waiting to pick up properties. And like I mentioned, a lot of the millennials right now are carrying a lot of cash with those RSUs and where the stock market is right now. So that's what I feel that's why I feel foreclosures are not really a threat right now. Number 3, we have the supply chain versus housing demand right now. So as a country, back in 06 and 07, before the crash happened, we were building homes anywhere around 2.2 million homes annually as a country. And then the crash happened and construction really slowed down in 2013. We went all the way down to 600,000 homes in this country, and we didn't really pick up that number. It stayed there for almost about 4 to 5 years. So the real problem has not been just these millennials coming out of the woodworks, or a lot of people just coming out and buying and just wanting to own a home. It's really been that new construction of homes has been really low, and we never really came back to our baseline number or a healthier number that we were at before. And then on top of that, we had COVID happen, and where the senior population, that's the largest population, I'm talking when I say seniors, also some of those are boomers that are in their 70s or mid 70s, they're like the largest population that are homeowners. So they shied away from putting homes on the market, and construction was already not so effective with their production. So that's what really caused this market to go crazy there. All this happened, COVID happened, and production's already slow, and we as a country didn't really slow down immigration. I mean, we brought in a lot of talent here, and why should we not bring in talent? This talent is helping us grow our GDP. So immigration didn't slow down, populations continue to grow, but our construction was at a really low level. So that was the real issue here that caused this unhealthy market to happen. So the question, before we answer the real question, is when will we, or how will we get into a more of a healthier market? Well, I honestly believe that the real work needs to happen in the supply chain of new construction primarily. Since we're so behind on numbers on that front, builders really have to beef up their production, and it hasn't really helped with lumber costs being so high, and also them not getting appliances and some electrical products on time. So production measures have to be taken on that front. And secondly, you have a large population, the boomers, which is the largest population that own homes in this country, are reaching their mid 70s or early 70s. And a lot of those owners are going to be putting their homes on the market to either downsize or move in with family members to get better care, or move into better care facilities. Now, the real question that this video is all about is, when is a good time to buy? Should you buy now or should you wait? Well, after looking at all those numbers, we can come to a conclusion that this market that we're in has not been caused by a credit boom. It's not, we've talked about the foreclosure and forbearance issue there, that we have a fair grip on that. And we know right now that this is probably the time in history when we have the largest number of millennials that are carrying a lot of liquid cash and have great jobs and salaried employees. And we have investors on the sidelines waiting to pick up these properties. So I feel that we're not going into a crash right now. I don't feel the bubble is gonna burst. So my question to you is, if you're gonna buy a primary home and you're gonna buy this for your family, markets are gonna continue to do what they do. They're gonna swing up, they're gonna swing down, they're gonna swing sideways, they're gonna go this way. That's just the nature of how this business works. And if you have decided and you're comfortable with your payment, you've talked to your loan officer, talked to your agent, and you know this is the best time for you to buy because the interest rates are really low, you're gonna lock this thing for 30 years. And if you can make that payment, your payment's not gonna change no matter what happens to the economy. And we've seen time and again, that when the market comes down, especially in the housing market, it does come back up. So if you're comfortable with all those things, the real question is that no one can really answer this question for you but you. So you have to ask yourself, trust your gut, that the decision that you're taking right now is the best decision for you and your family. Now, I really feel for the buyers that are out there that just are priced out in this market and they have to rent and they can't afford, and really feel your pain. I'm hoping and praying that, you know, a lot of new construction that's coming on the market in different cities, a lot of construction, a lot of builders, a lot of companies are thinking about the marginal homeowners in this country and are going to start to take some measures and start to build more homes that are affordable to our average buyer or our average citizen in this country. I hope this video was insightful to you. I know we covered a lot today. I'm very sorry if I've stuttered today and referenced to the board a lot, but it was a long one. I wanted to pack it all in one. Please share this with your family and friends, and don't forget to leave a comment below because I love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Karan Singh with Optimal Homes.